Odysseus did not lose his soldiers to monsters. He lost them to hunger and to one decision made while he was asleep. Every Greek soldier who survived the Cyclops, the giants, the witch, the land of the dead, the singing on the rocks, and the 6 heads on the cliff dies on a green island where nothing is hunting them. They die because they are starving and because there is meat standing in front of them. He has been warned twice. The prophet warned him in the land of the dead. Leave the cattle of the sun alone, and you all reach home. Touch them, and your ship is destroyed, and every soldier on it dies. Circe warned him again before he sailed, in the same words. So when the island comes up out of the sea, Odysseus tries to do something he has never done before. He tries to sail past a place without stopping. He tells his soldiers there is an island ahead they must not land on. He tells them a prophet gave him the warning. He tells his oarsmen to keep rowing, and Eurylochus refuses. You are made of iron, he says. The rest of us are not. We have been rowing all day. It is nearly dark. Every wreck that ever happened at night to men too tired to fight the water. Let us sleep on the beach and leave at first light. Every soldier on the ship agrees with him. Odysseus is 1 voice against 40, and he gives in. But he makes them swear an oath before they land, that not one of them will touch a single animal on that island. Every soldier swears it. They come ashore beside a stream of fresh water. They cook the food they still have. They eat and they cry for the 6 soldiers taken off the deck by the 6 heads, and they fall asleep on the sand in their bronze armor. And in the night the wind turns. It blows from the south, straight onto the shore, and it does not stop. Not the next day, not the day after, for a month. No ship can leave that beach against that wind. While the food lasts, nobody touches anything. When the food runs out, the soldiers fish with bent hooks. They catch seabirds. They eat whatever they can take off the rocks with their hands, and it is not enough, and hunger starts working on them. All around them, all day in the long grass, the cattle of the sun are grazing, fat and slow and unguarded. Odysseus walks inland alone to pray, to ask any god listening to show him a way off the island. And the gods put him to sleep. That is when Eurylochus speaks to the others. All deaths are hateful, he says, but the worst death is starving. Let us take the best of the cattle. We will make a proper offering to the gods, and if we reach home, we will build the sun a temple and fill it with gifts. And if he sinks our ship for it, I would rather drown in 1 gulp of seawater than sit on this beach and slowly die. They agree. The starving soldiers, stripped to the waist and thin as rope, round up the best animals in the herd, and they do everything properly. They pray. They cut the throats. They have no barley for the offering, so they use oak leaves. They have no wine, so they pour water. Men trying to keep the form of a thing they know they have already broken. Odysseus wakes up. He is still a long way inland, and he can smell the cooking fires. And then something happens that has no explanation anywhere in the poem. The hides start to crawl along the ground. The meat on the spits begins to make a sound, the raw meat and the cooked meat, and the poem says it was the sound of cattle lowing. They eat it anyway. For 6 days they eat it, because there is nothing else. Up in the sky, the sun has already found out. A girl who watches the herds went and told him. And the sun goes to Zeus and says something no other god says in the whole poem. Punish these men, make them pay for my cattle, or I will go down into the land of the dead and shine on the dead instead. Zeus tells him to keep shining. He will deal with it. On the 7th day the wind drops. The soldiers put the mast up and set the sail, and row out into open water, and the island goes down behind them. And when there is no land in sight in any direction, a black cloud comes and stops directly over the ship. The sea goes dark underneath it. The west wind arrives all at once, with a scream, and snaps both ropes holding the mast. The mast goes back and crushes the skull of the steersman, and he goes over the side like a diver. Then Zeus puts a thunderbolt into the ship. The whole vessel spins where it sits. It fills with sulfur smoke. And every soldier on board goes into the water at once, and the current carries them away past the hull, dark shapes on the swell, and the poem says, "The god took their homecoming from them." Odysseus does not drown. He lashes the keel to the broken mast with a strip of ox hide and rides the wreckage. And the wind changes to the south, which is the worst possible direction because it carries him back the way he came, all night, straight toward the two cliffs. At dawn he arrives at the whirlpool exactly as it starts to swallow. His raft goes down into it, and Odysseus jumps and catches hold of the wild fig tree growing out of the rock above the water. He hangs there like a bat. Nowhere to put his feet, nothing to climb to. The tree is too far above the water to drop and too far below the top of the cliff to reach. So he hangs, and he waits for the whole length of a morning until the sea comes back up and spits out the timbers of his own ship. They surface underneath him. He lets go, drops onto them, and paddles away with his hands. 9 days on the open sea. On the 10th he washes up on the island of Calypso, and that is where the last 12 ships and 600 soldiers of the expedition finally come to an end. 600 Greek soldiers left Troy under his command. The Cyclops ate 6. The giants killed nearly all the rest in one afternoon. 6 more went to the cliff. And the last of them died on a green island with fresh water and food walking around in the grass, because they were left alone, starving for a month. And their captain fell asleep. Next, the 7 years nobody talks about. A goddess who offered him immortality, and a man who sat on her beach and cried every morning.